Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, the Labour Party has been embroiled in a scandal around anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism, and where they conflate and where they do not conflate. We are here today to stand side by side with the Labour Party and its leader Jeremy Corbyn, who is not an anti-Semitic, he is an anti-Zionist. He has fought his entire life against racism, and the party may have one or two anti-Semitics in it, but in general it is not an anti-Semitic party. This is a tactic which the Tories and their cronies, like the Zionist Rupert Murdoch and the media, are using to distract from the real issue, which this week the Supreme Court ruled that workfare is illegal, it is slave labor, and that it should stop, and that everyone who has been on it should have their money back paid if they have been sanctioned. Now, we do have a criticism of the Labour Party, and that criticism is the oppression of freedom of speech. It's a censorship party now, controlled by Zionists, Blairites, right-wingers, capitalists. As we have said all along, it doesn't matter what leader you have, it matters what people behind the leader you have. We support liberty, freedom of speech, freedom of expression as a socialist party of direct democratic principles. However, when overt racism is used, it should be stopped, and investigations should happen, and suspensions and expulsions from parties should happen. However, MP Naz Shah did not do that. She put up a picture which was made by Jews, which had the simple message that has been confused, that many of the Jews and the settlers in Israel are from Brooklyn in the United States and they should return home. That is what that image was saying by the Jews. Secondly, we have to say the Labour Party does not oppose the state of Israel. It is not as radical anti-Zionist as that. It supports the state of Israel and a two-state solution based on the 1967 borders, as do we in the People's Social Freedom Party. However, we have got a shorter patience than most do towards the Zionists and their dreams for a greater Israel, which will not happen. We are all opposed to the Zionists, the fascist, Jewish fascists in Israel, who are using a twisted view of the Talmud and twisted views of their views of religion to justify their actions in taking over what they call Judea and Samaria, where they're using ethnic cleansing, social cleansing, genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and many other actions, corruption. And I tell you, it's often said, what people would tolerate having rockets rain down on them? I ask you this. What people would tolerate ethnic cleansing, social cleansing, genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity? Even if a Palestinian wants to build a house in his own country of Palestine, he has to get the permission of the Israelis or they will come in and bulldoze the place. We at the People's Social Freedom Party therefore stand with Jeremy Corbyn on this. It is a dirty trick that the Tories and the Zionist Murdoch is using, who, by the way, will not get his grubby hands on the oil in the Golan Heights, which is Syrian property, Syrian territory, and will always remain so, and the UN has accorded it to that too. So, from the People's Social Freedom Party, and from myself, Dion Gibbs, the leader of the People's Social Freedom Party, we stand with Labour and Jeremy Corbyn on this issue of anti-Semitism in the left wing.